that's the phrase.
What?
I don't think
Isn't
that's the
that-
phrase. I don't think you smack it like it's hot.
What do you mean? What do you what?
Is this like the time you were breaking waterfalls? You do not
One
smack
Punch
it.
Man.
You do not smack it when it's hot.
But what do you do?
You drop it like it's hot.
Oh, but what do you smack then?
You just smack that. Remember that Eminem song? Smack that.
No. I thought it was
You
smack
totally
it.
remember that song.
All right.
All right. What's up, folks?
Hey.
One punch. Hey, Rob is the One Punch Man.
That's right.
That's what he's
Damn
training
right I
for.
am.
He's training to become the One Punch Man.
Yes. And then run. One Punch Man with running ability.
That's exactly what he does. He shows up late.
Yeah.
He gets his one punch in. He saves the day, and then he runs off. So
Right.
This is your origin story, my man.
And I do zigzags so as not to like.
So no one can follow your tracks in the snow.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm good, good sir.
Yeah.
A little tired. I don't know what happened this weekend, but is it just the case of the Mondays?
No.
Say that is the case.
Yes,
of
they
Mondays?
do. No,
just
this
another
weekend
manic
was
Monday.
banana. Everybody, you know what? It's the end of January, and it was cold as F, and it was shoveling, and it was just I think everybody was tired today.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lack of sun. We got a little bit of sun. I don't like on Saturday, and a little bit on the other day. I just hate it when you don't need to. I feel like when you have to put on your sunglasses, that's like when you wake up when you have to drive in the morning. I know some of you don't have to drive in anymore, but that was like a thing in the morning. When you don't have to do that, it's kind of just like in the whole day you don't have to touch your sunglasses in your car or wherever. That's kind of crazy. I feel like that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't like it. I know. I have them in my cars when I leave for the gym in the morning. I'm hoping that I would require them and need them. No, it's just dark and dreary and gray and crappy out.
Yeah. Do you take vitamin D?
No.
No.
Do you?
Lack of sun? Yeah. I remember I took my girls to the doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, give them some vitamin D during the pandemic because no one was going outside." So
right.
I was like, "All right, I don't know."
And what differences did you notice? Did it make them what?
Nothing. I don't know.
Wicked.
They were fine. They were perfectly fine before, but if the doctor tells you to do something, you're likely to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. My wife's always said, "Oh, you should take vitamin D," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, man." Unless it comes in a Flintstone tablet, I'm likely not going to consume it.
Do they still make those? I feel like they still make those.
I hope they do. I don't know why they don't make them for adults. The problem is, I think they make gummy vitamins now, but with so many different types of gummies out there, I'd be too afraid I picked the wrong one. And next thing you know, I'm tripping balls. So
special gummies. What's up, Fraser? What's up, Lewis? I see you all in the chat already. Welcome anybody else who's kind of hiding there. Welcome Rob to the show. Welcome myself. I'm John Hope. I think that's it. Do we got anyone else here? No, I don't.
I don't think so. I don't know. Is there any special guests today? No.
No.
Right.
We should start bringing in surprise guests though.
We should.
So welcome to the Sidekick Show, folks. We'll just not be here. Welcome. It is January 30th. January is come and gone. I don't know if there's a song that goes along with that, but
no.
Someone will write it someday. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us your Monday night. If you have watched the Heroes World podcast, we did talk about our 2022 hits and misses, I guess you would call it. And we're here today to talk to you guys of what you thought about 2022 TV shows, movies, games, music, whatever you want to chat about. So we're just kind of free to hang out tonight. But we like to open the show with what'd you get up to during the weekend? So if anyone got up to some cool stuff, there's a lot of drops on TV, a lot of streaming stuff scheduled now. Different day, usually Friday and Sunday. I feel like Friday and Sunday are the 2 days that new episodes drop. So a lot of streaming to catch up on, or whatever else you're doing. Maybe you're reading a book. Rob, I know you like to read a lot of books. But good buddy, how was your weekend? What'd you get up to, man? You guys in the chat, let us know. I see Sarah just popped in. What's up, Sarah?
I spent a lot of time in hockey rinks this weekend from my son.
Nice.
And they didn't have the heaters on, so I got that like bone cold where it's like you can't get warm no matter what you do. 19 layers, pouring hot chocolate all over it doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference.
I was saying, does a hot coffee or a hot beverage not
No.
alleviate that? No.
No. Once I get super cold, I'm toast. So, but here's what I watched, John. There's a documentary on Netflix called, and I'm probably gonna butcher, no pun intended, the name of it, but I think it's like the hitchhiking, hatchet wielding, whatever.
I think it's a hatchet wielding hitchhiker or something.
That's it. You're right. Yeah. First of all,
that's my wife's jam. Those types of shows.
Correct. Yeah.
Those types of shows, my wife's jam.
So I watched that. It's an interesting document. I remember watching that guy, when that whole thing went down in 2013. I never knew really what became of him. Also, didn't care. However, I was very intrigued by the documentary. So it's a 90-minute, pretty easy watch. And I also checked out, John, Nobody. Remember we reviewed that a couple of years ago during the pandemic with Bob Odenkirk? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw this on again. It holds up, man. I know it's a couple of years old. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I really enjoyed rewatching that. And yeah, I'm right now about 25, 30% way through my Green Lantern, Jeff John Omnibus Volume 2. And man, I'm just getting into that whole spectrum stuff, the Red Lanterns and all that.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, so good right now, right? Like they're just introducing all that stuff. So I'm really enjoying, Jeff Johns, I got to say, I don't know what's happened to him of late, but that stuff back in the day, man, his runs are fantastic. So
everybody, like Green Lantern went from this kind of obscure, some people are like, I really like Hal Jordan, I like Kyle Ragnar, and it was still like a little pocket. And then Jeff Johns comes along and blows it up with the whole spectrum of colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You never would have thought you wanted all these different colors of lanterns and all these corps represented, but everybody was reading this book. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. And then last night, of course, John, it was episode 3 of The Last of Us, and I can't get that damn song from Linda Ronstadt out of my head. So
okay, is it a new song? I heard you playing it a little bit before we fired.
Oh, it's from like 1974 or something.
Okay, so it wasn't a new weird cover or
nope.
Remember Sons of Anarchy? They used to always release a cover with Katie Seagal, like re-singing it.
Because she's married to Kurt Stutter, right?
Which is mad twisted because he did some very nasty things to her on the show.
Right.
So, a little bit weird in that household. So hopefully it's all on paper and on the screen, I guess. So shout outs to that show that turned into hot trash towards the end.
We're not talking about The Last of Us. It is an amazing TV show. You haven't seen it, so that's fine. Nobody put spoilers in if you don't mind. And to answer Sarah's question, Rob, have you seen the documentary Don't F with Cats? Yes, I did. That was another bizarre one. We would all know who the subject of that is, though, as being Canadian. So, but John, how was your weekend, bud?
Yeah. So, let me. Sorry, I just wanted to get Space Force. What were you playing on PS5? We're going to circle back to what you guys are up to. So
I know what I was playing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll circle back with games. So quick things for me, Rob. I watched a new Apple TV show called Shrinking. I don't know if you heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's your boy Jason Segel, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
What's Krista Miller? Because of course it is produced by Bill Lawrence from Scrubs and Cougar Town, and he always puts his wife in everything he does. And even I don't know what the guy's name is, but Jefferson from Married with Children, the husband of Marcy.
Yeah,
the pretty boy guy. Yeah, he's the husband of the Krista Miller character. He just appeared for a hot second. But if you like kind of like fun sitcom-y shows, it's got a little bit of Scrubs and Ted Lasso flavor to it, and it's on Apple TV. They're 3 episodes deep. So thanks, Will Smith, for that free 2 months trial of Apple TV. That was a lot of fun. And it's fun to see Harrison Ford doing some comedic stuff.
Are you going to re-up your Apple TV Plus membership? Because it feels like you've been getting a lot out of it these last couple of months.
It's hard to say. There's like a lot of stuff. I feel I'm going to like let it expire and see if I really desire for it, like to like kind of go back to and go, man, I wish I had it. But sometimes these things will go away, and maybe I'll wait a couple like seasons to wrap, and then I'll sign back up and tank.
What about For All Mankind? You got to at least watch a couple of the episodes.
Yeah, I turned it on. Rob has recommended For All Mankind. I think one of your favorite shows, I guess, of the new streaming era. I would assume, right? And you have to sit down and watch this. I can't put it on in the background and just be like and look up and go, oh, okay, what's going on? Oh, this thing's blowing up or flying to wherever. It's a little too intense, Rob. So I do want to get to it because I know you always like to recommend good stuff. So yeah. Ted Lasso, his second favorite flavor next to Tiger Tail. We have to bring back the Tiger Tail. I don't think we did a live taste testing on stream. I just heard the ingredients and I was like, oh God, no thanks.
Okay, so what did you get? Okay, so you saw
so I watched
Shrinking?
I watched Shrinking, and then I did listen to another. So I'm going to start incorporating other things that I get to because I'm slammed for time to sit down and watch TV. I listened to a podcast, Two Bears in One Cave. They had Tony Hawk on. I don't know if you're a Tony Hawk fan, but man, that guy, I'm not like a huge skater. Like I don't have any talent on the skateboard, I don't think. But I have huge respect for that man and everything that he's done, the video games and just the fact that he is over 50 and he just recently broke his leg and then he's back up and skating again is crazy. So that was a really fun interview. I always check him out when he does interviews. And I think he has his own podcast as well. So I'm going to have to check that out. But are you a fan of Tony Hawk, Rob? If you saw him on the street, would you be like, yo, Tony Hawk, I got to get a picture with you or an autograph?
Of course I would. Yeah. But I'm not like a diehard devotee. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect, mad respect. I grew up in that time. Lords of Dogtown, you would see, all that stuff in the Thrasher magazines. And I was a skateboarding kid. So, yeah, for sure I loved all those guys. And and I played a couple of the games. But yeah, I mean, Tony Hawk, how do you, he was I guess you could say he was a pioneer in the skateboarding world, even though, there's a lot of guys that were before him. Yeah. But he really marketed it well. Right.
He's super humble. During his interviews, he's always like, it wasn't all me. It was like all these things came together. And, he doesn't like when they say his video game got a lot of people into it. He's like, it was maybe a part of it. But he's always really humble. So he's a really cool dude. So if you haven't checked that out, and it's run by two comedians, that podcast, Two Bears, One Cave. I forgot what the guy's name is, Bert something. He's got a really good stand-up act. So they had a lot of fun on that show. So a lot of fun with that. And then we're going to check in a little bit on what you guys got up to. Sarah says she got some lobster roll. Greatest thing ever created. You fancy a lobster, Rob, or you not into
I do
the
like
seafood?
Lobster. Yeah. Sarah she was in Boston. Boston. I remember I went to Boston for a school trip.
Listen, Mark Wahlberg.
And they took us, we went to Fenway, we saw a ball game, and they were like, hey, ballpark Franks here, get your ballpark Franks, and it was your hot dogs, and they were in like Texas toast style buns. It wasn't like
it wasn't a hot dog bun.
You do know they were like Texas toast, like big thick piece of toast of bread sliced right in half. You're like, what? And each side was like this thick. And I was like, it was just
so was it a sandwich or
no? It was a hot dog, but you take the bread, but it was a big thick. And it was cut right in half, and so it was open like that. So you had two big thick layers of It was
Rob likes two big thick layers.
I do. With the hot dog in the middle, and then, it was great. And like, get your ballpark Frank here, and then we went into Boston. We saw them tossing the tea into the sea, all that stuff. Went and saw Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. We went and saw that. Yeah, we did.
Sam Malone.
The boss Cheers.
Where everybody knew your name. Lewis
true.
says he met up with some people for Chinese New Year lunch. And the first time he's seen some people in 3 years. Yeah, that would be the pandemic timing, right? So some people you haven't seen since beginning of pandemic. So
happy depending on how lunch went, you may not want to see them for another 3 years.
You might be like, I'm good. Once every 3 years, let's book it right now. Book it, Google Calendar, 3 years.
Come on, pandemic.
The sad thing is sometimes you don't get together with certain friends for a while. So maybe you should put a once every 3 years meet up on your schedule and keep that appointment. Fraser says he brought his son out for ice skating the first time. Or I don't know if it's the first. Yeah, first time you said?
First time skating,
Yeah, I tried that with my daughters. They couldn't. My oldest daughter, I tried it, and she couldn't quite figure it out. She just kind of kept walking. She didn't figure out the gliding part.
Still got it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I saw the picture, Fraser. Really cute.
Yeah, it's cool.
Lewis is installing new video cards. I don't miss those days when you would build your own computer and then it wouldn't fire up, and then you'd have to like try and figure out what exactly went wrong with it.
Yeah, you know what I did?
What's not working?
I bought the computer already built.
Yeah, people would frown upon that, Rob. You got to build it. Built, not bought, is what they say, right?
I was like, hello, Dell.ca.
there is a little bit of pleasure in building your own system. Let's see. Do you see anything else in there?
Well, somebody mentioned they were playing a video game, and I forgot, totally forgot, John. So this weekend on the 27th, on Friday, it was the release of Dead Space. It was like a remake of the 2008 video game.
Oh, yes.
I loved that game. I loved Dead Space 1 and 2. A hell of a lot of fun. And they've remade the entire game.
Yeah.
And dude, it's a horror game, right? Like horror sci-fi. And I play it with the lights off, surround sound up.
Not a horror game.
It got me. What's that?
Not a horror game. You horror.
Horror. Yeah. If it was a horror, no, still same thing. Lights would be off. but yeah, it was amazing. And I'm like, partway through it, but just it's so good, and it brings me right back, and it's totally worth the money to purchase the new version of this game. So Dead Space on PS5. I think it's also for the new Xbox system. So
yeah, it's been a minute since that game has been in the limelight. Steve said he watched Kevin Can F himself, I guess, on season 1 of Prime. I'm not familiar with that one, but let us know what you thought of that one, Steve, if you watched it all. Space Force is getting ready to watch that latest episode of Last of Us, which Rob is crowning one of his greatest feats in TV history, right?
Listen, there are a certain number of shows that I know that the titles and I would watch it. For instance, like Lost, right? I told you I'm a big fan of Lost. And there's a couple of those episodes that I can watch, like The Constant. I love the episode The Constant, and I could watch that stuff anytime. I could just throw that episode on and watch it. I'm telling you right now, Last of Us episode 3 of this season is one of those episodes that I will just put up and watch it anytime. It is just so well written. Same with The West Wing. I'm a big West Wing fan. You know that, John. Sibyleth is one of my favorite episodes of that first season, and I would throw that on and watch it as well. So Space Force, I'm not ruining anything for you, but I'm telling you, you're going to absolutely love this episode. It's so well written, and it tugs at the heartstrings. So
yeah. I think I would definitely have to search my memory banks for something that I could do that for. There's a couple things that I think are really good episodes of TV, but not. I hesitate to think of an episode that I could watch over and over again.
I just want to, Lewis, like Rob, pre-built by Dell is a terrible choice. I know, I would just use it as the example, but when I was in my teenage years, that's generally what the parents did. They would, we get them from Dell because we have a work discount. So
yeah, well, you would see those flyers, Best Buy or Future Shop or whatever would have some pre-built system built by their techs and stuff like that. That would be a bargain bin basement parts or whatever you want to call it. Steve calls me out on my Scott Pilgrim versus the World on PS4. I think my PS4 has just been left on, and that was the game that my daughters were playing last time I touched it. I tried playing that game. It looks really cool, but it is not as good as some of the other games we've been playing. If you guys want a countdown of good games to play with your kids, maybe I'll have to do that sometime. Let's see what else. Lewis says not finished Mankind for all Mankind. Why do I want to say Mankind for all seasons?
I have no idea.
I think that's a Superman book. Space Force does shout out. What is this thing? For all Mankind is great. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff about this Space Force 1980 will get made. Star Wars meets Miami Vice. Hey, that sounds good to me. Let's see here. If anybody else, did you see anything else, Rob? I think we're good.
I'm actually just really happy that you're watching stuff on Apple TV Plus. I find that they make some really, really good quality shows and stuff. So
no, yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with the quality. I'm still watching the Blackbird show, which is the prison.
I gotta watch that
show. One, and a couple other things I've clicked on. I did watch half of that. Did you watch it, Shotgun Wedding, with J-Lo and Josh Duhamel, or is that not your jam?
No. It's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just not on my list right now of things to watch. I've got a lot. Oh, because I watched All Quiet on the Western Front last week. That was the other one I was trying to remember. That's an newer version. Right?
Oh, there's a new
version.
The
new version. It's nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. It's in German and then with English subtitles. At first it automatically defaulted to the English dubbing, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, turn that off. So
click.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've got a bunch of stuff on my list that I need to get. I still have to watch the first part of Yellowstone of this new season. I haven't watched that. 1883 I haven't watched. So there's a whole bunch of stuff I got to get to. So unfortunately, J-Lo,
J-Lo's gonna wait.
Yeah, you got to wait.
J-Lo, as in fantastic shape you are in, you were no match for All Quiet on the Western Front in this round. And Josh Duhamel, he's always fun in rom-coms. So shout outs to that. I was enjoying what I was watching. I only watched half of it so far. But we'll circle back, folks. If you guys got anything else you got up to, definitely drop it in the comments and we'll try and get back there. But let's keep it moving. I'm sure Rob has a bunch of news, and then we just want to chat with you guys about what you guys thought of 2022 projects or whatever's on your mind. So Rob, let me show you a couple cool things that are coming to the shop, and then we'll kick it over to you for the news. Let me get this little banner off the screen. So first thing happening at the store this week, we are running the pre-release for the new Magic the Gathering set, New Phyrexia. There's some really cool looking stuff coming out. So Magic is still going strong. This is a pre-release tournament, so you drop by. We're running it on Friday and Sunday, and you don't need to bring anything with you. You get all your cards during the event, and it's a great way to enjoy the new set and kind of play a little bit more casually. It's a sealed deck format, which is a great way for new players and veteran players to just kind of enjoy the new cards. And I do want to shout out the latest Valaverse series, Action Force Wave 3, which is an all-female wave of action figures, which is, I can't think of the last time that they've done this, other than maybe some Japanese anime stuff. So it's really cool. It's very fun to support these indie companies and have something completely unique that you won't find at Walmart, Toys R Us, or any other big box store. And so it's great to see people come in and discover these things. So definitely come check them out. They're a lot of fun. If you're not following me on my Instagram, I post lots of pictures of this type of stuff. And Rob, I don't know if you've heard of this new Superman shakeup, Dawn of DC.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard a podcast with Josh Williamson and Jamal Campbell, who is the artist for this new Superman book, and I've been seeing a lot of these pages. It looks freaking hype, man.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks like it's bringing Superman back to kind of being a more kind of lighter, fun character. If you read some of the interviews, they look like they're going to have some fun with him. On the left, you'll see there's a special variant cover that features Lois Lane, and it says Editor-in-Chief of the Daily Planet. So this is a new reveal that she is, I guess, going to be in charge. That's pretty cool step for her. And then on the other side, on the right-hand side, is one of the foil covers. It looks like a Phantom Zone projector of some kind, a la Superman 1 or 2, where they got sucked into that thing.
Well, it got sucked in Superman 1, but I actually think the Phantom Zone projector, wasn't that in Supergirl, the movie?
They might have used the actual projector. So the Phantom Zone, Superman does use it a lot, but that's going to be a foil cover. So if you guys like hellish shiny stuff, definitely check that out. And there's a couple other reveals. I'll leave them out for now because maybe you don't want to be spoiled, but there's going to be a big shakeup. If you can look at the Superman cover in the middle, in the background, you'll see a building with a big S on it. It looks like Superman is going to somehow encounter some Bruce Wayne-like money. So we'll see how that goes for him.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Superman going to get some cash. Hola. So this book is going to be out February 21st. If you want it, hit me up and we can discuss different covers and all kinds of fun stuff. So Big Boy in Blue getting the new #1 coming up.
Apparently a whole bunch of #1s.
Yeah, a whole bunch of #1s. Sorry, someone did shout out something there. Sarah's very looking forward to the new season of You. Have you watched this show at all, Rob?
No, I haven't. No? I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I watched the first season. I didn't know what the twist was. And after I saw it, I turned to my wife and was, why would you make me watch this? This is scary. But people love this show.
Yeah.
And the main character is a little concerned when people romanticize him. So we'll see how that goes.
So Gord says he wants to see the Batwing. What's he referring to?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Gord.
Yeah. Maybe he's talking about the Servant. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Batwing. All right, fill us in, Gord. We'll come back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Space Force says Superman is going back to its good vibe roots. I think Superman needs to be a lighter, fun character, a la the Tomasi run, right? Rob, one of your favorite comic.
One of my favorite runs was that Tomasi Gleason run.
Yeah, and it was the one that did the best for us as a retailer. That book, everybody was collecting it. New people were discovering it. And the omnibus, which Rob has showed off many times, sells very well for us. So definitely check that out. Superman needs to be fun and have sorry. Rob, Gordon's talking about the Batwing on your wall behind you, dude. That's what he's talking about.
I kind of forgot it was there.
Yeah. All right, Rob,
Dan Henderson.
News. Yeah, sorry.
Dan Henderson is keen for All Mankind next season. So am I. I don't know when it's coming out though. I would have loved to have had some news that was coming out this year. I just don't think that's happening. I think I'm probably looking at 2024, but I could be wrong. But yes, Gord, sorry, the Batwing behind me. It's actually mounted on the wall by a screw. I think it's the only or one of the only Lego sets that was designed to be mounted on a wall with a screw, an anchor screw. And I'm not taking it off.
If we can flash back, I should get the clip of Rob almost dropping his was it the Flash or Superman statue?
Oh, it was a whole bunch of things. Yeah, I almost dropped
his
over
Voltron, his Superman, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks, folks, for sticking with us for the store stuff. But let's kick it to Rob for the news. And this is your latest breaking nerdy comic news.
Jonathan wants a tour of my nerd room. Yeah, one day we'll have to do that. One day.
Yeah, he just rearranged it. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, man. I know. Right now I'm covering up the lightsaber that my son and I built right there. We went to Disney.
That should be mounted to the wall, should it not?
We are. Well, we got some plans happening, John, and we're looking at redoing the basement a little bit. So we're probably going to mount them onto the walls. Yeah.
All right. How much to remove that window behind you?
No, this room will probably. I mean, it'll be repainted, but it'll likely.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, but thanks for pointing that out, John. All right.
No, you should incorporate it somehow. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Hey, John. I got news for you, buddy.
All right.
Listen, I hope you've got your Kleenex box handy because I'm sure you're going to be shedding some tears with this. News last week broke that HBO's Doom Patrol and Titans will be ending with season 4. Now, Doom Patrol has already aired its 4th season, so smell you later, guys. You're done. Titans is in the middle of the 4th season. The second half of it is debuting sometime in April, I believe. Now, that's for our U.S. friends on HBO Max. In Canada, we don't get Titans unless it airs on Netflix. And I was wondering why we haven't received the upload, because usually it's in January. And it's because they will wait until the entire season, I guess, is done in the U.S. before uploading it to Netflix. So there we go. So we are not getting Titans, but that will be ending with this current season, season 4. Now, James Gunn did come out. People were raging about this, and he came out and goes, "Hey, we didn't do this. This was the fate of these shows was decided way before I got here. Has nothing to do."
That's
with
why I was like hashtag. I thought this already happened. Like,
yeah, you were like, I thought it was canceled 3 years ago. So John, I guess that pretty much leaves Superman and Lois as the only DC-based TV show. So what are your thoughts, man? Are you sad that did you watch any of Titans, Doom Patrol? Like where are you at?
I tried to watch Titans because people really dug it, and I like to kind of get into the stuff that people are kind of feeling in the culture and stuff. And I couldn't do it. I even tried skipping ahead to when Deathstroke shows up.
Yeah.
To watch it. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right mindset, or I think I'm just looking for different stuff in TV. I do like kind of gritty shows on TV, but maybe I just want my superhero stuff in my comics. So it didn't catch me. Doom Patrol, I watched. They did a backdoor pilot in Titans, didn't they? They showed up in Titans, and then they spun off into their own show. I appreciated it for what it was trying to do, but it wasn't my type of show. So either of these shows disappearing, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have even noticed they were gone.
Yeah, I've watched the episodes of Titans, but I'm not gonna lie. As soon as they cast like a 60-something balding British guy as Bruce Wayne, I don't care if you were, Jorah Mormont from
you can't
you're not Bruce Wayne,
Batman like that.
Yeah,
you can't disrespect Batman and expect the show to survive. Gordon makes a good point. Hopefully, if they give it a good ending, then that does, because there are fans. There's fans out there, that are going to be disappointed this is ending, or they'll want to rewatch it later on. Like if it has a good ending, then maybe I will one day go back and watch the Titans. I
just want to bring up, so Gord's saying I have criminal bars in the window behind me. So just for the record, I actually have my gas heater for the pool is outside that window. And by law, I have to have this window locked. I can't have it operational because of the gas that would emit into the house and kill me. So
you can't crack that window is what you're saying.
Right. I'm not allowed to, in case anybody was to come by and check. Yes. Okay, that's all I got for that.
All right, what else
more
you
news.
got?
So moving on to shows that have been canceled to a renewal. Netflix renewed, John, one of your favorite shows of 2022, The Recruit, starring Noah Centineo.
Yes.
Now, The Recruit comes from Rookie creator Alexi Hawley. The Rookie, obviously, is one of my favorite shows on network TV.
Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of network shows anymore, but that's on ABC with Nathan Fillion. It's a lot of fun. And this show, the Recruit, has spent its first 5 weeks on Netflix top 10 shows, so it was getting a lot of eyeballs. It also came out over the holidays. I think it was a pretty good campaign to throw that on there. It's a pretty easy watch. But John,
for me, it was perfect timing. Yeah, it was perfect timing for me. I was able to tank almost the entire season, and I think I left 1 or 2 episodes for a later viewing. But yeah, I'm really happy to hear this. I did really like Noah Centineo in this role. And I'm surprised that you weren't as down with it, because it is, I think, Doug Liman directing or producing or something like that, right? Yeah. Which is your jam, the Bourne Identity stuff, right?
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. Like, it was an easy watch. Like, it wasn't, there wasn't really a lot to it. It was an easy watch. It just kind of felt like
it just kept moving.
It kept moving. Like network television. It felt too cutesy. Like, I thought if it's going to be on Netflix, be a little bit harder. Be a little bit more, but you know what? It's the same with the Lincoln Lawyer. I don't know if you saw that earlier in 2022. That came out. Again, another real easy watch these type of shows. So yeah, sure, I'm down with that.
For Netflix, I feel like this is the content they should be aiming for.
Yeah.
If it was on Crave or HBO or Apple TV, I would have thought like you thought, a little more serious. I guess the love story is probably one of the weaker parts that maybe you didn't like. Is kind of cheesy, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna move on now. This has me super excited about a show we just talked about. HBO's hit The Last of Us has been renewed for season 2. This show is just a juggernaut for the network, so it's no surprise that a second season has been greenlit. No idea as to when production will start, and I'm going to assume, John, that they're head back to Alberta for filming. They filmed the entire season of over about 10 months or so, close to a year, in different parts of Alberta, including Canmore and whatnot. So that's just my speculation that they're going to head back there, but I would assume that they will. But John, I know you haven't seen last night's episode, although you were trolling Stu and I that if you didn't like it. I didn't realize. I thought you guys got problems.
Guaranteed to annoy people, folks. If you haven't seen the thing and they're like, "Oh my god, this is the most amazing thing," come back with, "It's okay." They will go flying off the handle like Rob did.
Yeah, I was losing my mind.
But the quality of this show, definitely, Rob, 100%. You want to see more content like this. I do want to ask you, though, do you think they're going to wrap up the entire contents of the first game in the first season, and the season 2 is going to be the second game?
Yeah, I don't think so. They've said that they are not going to go further, like past the game. Like how Game of Thrones did. They went past the source material. I wouldn't be surprised if the first game is stretched out over 2 seasons. And then maybe like the second game over 2 to 3 seasons. Like I think you could get a good 4 to 5 seasons out of this show. So we'll see. That's my hope at any rate. Yeah. But I'm really stoked about that. So more Last of Us. You can't go wrong with that. Okay. Now, I would be remiss, John, if I failed to mention that the Oscars were announced last week. One of my favorite movies of 2022, if you saw our Heroes World podcast, was Everything Everywhere All at Once, which leads with 11 nominations. Now, Top Gun Maverick, John, scored a few as well, including Best Picture. It won't win, but hey,
come on. You think it has 0 chance?
Yes, it has less than 0. Okay. In terms of comic book movies, though, John, the Batman scored a couple in sound design, makeup, special effects. But the biggest nomination for comic-based movies would go to Angela Bassett for supporting actress for Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yes. Give it to her.
So, John, or those in the chat, do you guys have any thoughts on the Oscars this year? I will say some people, as we see on the screen right now, Paul Dano was nominated was he nominated for The Fableman? Maybe he wasn't. For The Fablemans. A lot of people thought he would have been nominated for his role as the Riddler in the Batman. But what are your thoughts on the nominations that came out?
Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting that they're incorporating some of these movies. Like I thought possibly Top Gun Maverick could get the classic snub, right? And be not included in anything. I would have liked to see the Batman more in the mix there somewhere. Just to keep, I guess, I don't know if you want to call them the casuals like me, actually interested in what's going down in the Oscars. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I definitely want to see Michelle Yeoh win. I think she's one of the first that identifies as an Asian American or something. They had some weird definition.
Yeah, it was a really
Asian,
bizarre, like,
because there was a female performer before that was not able to put it, I think, on her resume, so it wasn't documented or something like that because of something or other. I don't want to butcher the facts or whatever, but it is pretty crazy to see her up there. I remember Aquafina, I think, was nominated for some supporting in that the farewell. And that was a great performance. But if anyone deserves it from the community of actors and actresses that I've grown up with, it is 100% Michelle Yeoh. She's been putting in the work. She's been in everything, be it good, be it bad. I would love to see her up there on stage, dressed in a beautiful outfit, accepting this award. That's well deserved. Do you have a favorite movie of hers other than Everything Everywhere All at Once, Rob? Is it that 007 movie? Or is it Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
I really like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I did like her a lot in, I think it was The World Is Not Enough. Or was it Tomorrow Never Dies? Anyways.
I feel like it was Tomorrow Never Dies. Huh?
Yeah, you might be right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? And she was going to get a spin-off, and they kiboshed it, right?
Yeah. Well, but everybody was going to get it. I mean, Halle Berry's supposed to get a spin-off, and that didn't happen.
It's the fake thing in the contract that they get everybody to show up for, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna get a spin-off. Not happening. So yeah, listen, I really do. It's such a unique movie. I know a lot of people who have seen it who are like, I don't understand it or I don't like it. What's all the hype about? But it's so unique, and I think it's just it's made with passion. And listen, Jamie Lee Curtis was also nominated, I think, right, as a supporting actress, and that's her first nomination. She's been in the business for like mad years. So
yeah.
I think it's great.
I would huge supporter of all the other performers, like really boosting them up. Like she was like so happy for Michelle Yeoh, I think.
So I'm hopeful that that they all do really well. That's the March 12th, I think, is when it drops. So we'll find out who the winners are then. Okay, back to my news, John. This is an interesting one. And actually, I've been looking because I'll explain. Ever since it was announced that James Gunn and Peter Safran were anointed as the heads of the new DC studios.
Anointed. Beautiful.
Anointed. You like that, buddy?
I like it.
Everybody has been clamoring for some news as to what projects would be announced. Now, Gunn has been pretty transparent during these last number of months. We've talked about that numerous times here online.
Some people say to his detriment. He should probably calm it down a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. And he also, though, he came out and said, hey, listen, I'm going to be writing the new Superman movie. But he's always promised that he would unveil the first part of the plan before the end of this month, John. And they are getting it right down to the wire. Word broke this afternoon that Gunn and Safran invited the media to Warner Brothers in Hollywood to unveil their plan. The first part of their plan, I should say. It's a multi-step plan. This is a multi-phase, however you want to say it. But the first part of the first phase was unveiled to the media today, and then will be released to the general public tomorrow. Now, I've been looking to see if anything has leaked at all. I know because, I mean, you had a whole bunch of people from the media in there, and they've all kept it quiet. I've seen a lot of weird things. I don't know if any of it,
general.
not weird things about specific characters. Nobody has said anything, but more like it was a bizarre press conference. I had a lot of people I follow who are in Hollywood media. Their minds are blown and this and that. So nothing has leaked, which is bizarre. In and of itself, it's very, very bizarre. But Dave Bautista did go on record the other day saying that he had spoken to James Gunn. I guess they may have spoke about what, him joining the DC universe in some capacity. People have always fan casted him as Bane. And he said, listen, I spoke to Gunn, and they're rebooting everything. It's all going to be a much younger, starting from scratch. I'm not the age that they're for Bane. I'm too old for it now. And that's not the direction in which they're going, which makes sense if they're looking at a long-term plan of casting individuals who are on the younger side to grow with franchises. So all that to say, John, tomorrow we get news and word on what this first phase of DC Studios will look like. It will probably comprise of movies, television, and something else. But what do you want to put on your wish list? What do you think would be announced tomorrow?
You know what I want to put on my wish list, Rob? It's a Green Lantern movie starring.
Oh my God. Are you still with this Tyrese thing, man?
Yes, I would love to see that. No, I'm looking forward to young, fresh, new, completely, like we've talked about before, scorch the earth, completely new projects. Just because I don't have any attachment to this old DCU anymore. There's kind of nothing I would want to save now. I think I've finally accepted the fact that we're not getting this Henry Cavill project whatsoever. And even if they got it, they would probably screw it up. So I'm looking forward to a completely new direction, and I actually am liking the transparency that we're seeing from James Gunn. They DC has had a hell of a road, so much so that any new movie, if they decide to sweep under the rug and not be transparent, it could feel the wrath of the previous movie's disappointment or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So now that if you're open and you're saying, hey, we're working on it, we're trying this, we're trying that, it's going to be this, that, and the other. Yeah, nothing in particular that I can think of, Rob. I would like to see some type of Superman project on the map. And I would like to see the Reeves Batman continue. I don't know if that's something that they would announce. If they're like, this is fine, it's separate. Don't worry about that.
I think they've kind of already announced that the Reeves Batman stuff lives in its own pocket universe. It's not being touched by what's happening with what they're doing. I think in the same vein that the Joker is able to live in that.
Yeah.
Todd Phillips Joker.
Yeah. So Michelle recommends the Bane the high school years. So that'd be fun. Can I get your homework from whatever class?
During gym class,
what are you
lining Venom?
You have more attachment to this DC you that is leaving now. What do you want to? Are you looking forward to something possibly being clarified? Announced?
Well, here's the thing, John, is that if they're doing a full reboot of the universe, do you go right to number one and go Superman to launch off your
an origin story? You think?
Well, because he said it's not an origin. He said it's going to be like year one type thing. He's already been at the planet for a year, right? But every hero kind of follows Superman, right? Uh-huh. I know, like, comics can be timey-wimey. You know, you can say, oh, the JSA predates, Superman and that. But for the most part, I mean, again, DC's done so many damn reboots of their own universe on the comics. Who the hell knows what their timeline is anymore? But my understanding is that really Superman was kind of the start and the launching pad. Or do they do these JSA teams? Maybe it's Green Lanterns, like the Alan Scott Green Lantern and all that. And then Superman as a birth of a new era. I don't know.
No.
But I would like to see... I would like to see. I want some information on Superman. To be honest with you, I love watching that on the screen. I want to see something about that. I would love to see a proper Green Lantern project. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so maybe we'll get news of this HBO Max Green Lantern Corps series that was supposed to be retooled.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen with like the Flash stuff, right? So I think they're going to see probably some obscure stuff. I honestly, to be honest with you, would love to see the Question. I think that would be I think
you not open the new DCU with the Question.
No, you couldn't. But it'd be kind of cool if it's a 10-part HBO series, right? Like the Question. I'd be like,
Rob, have you ever watched that Justice League animated, the Catalyst Project stuff that opens with the Question?
Maybe not. Justice League Unlimited, wasn't that the...
Yeah, it was one of the Justice League Unlimited arcs, and the Question unearths the kind of whole conspiracy thing that's going on, and the series does lead with him. So if they do a copy of that, 100% on. But I think you're right. I think Superman needs to be out the gate. The MCU, arguably, Iron Man is kind of the beginning. Hulk did come up first, but everyone credits that first Iron Man movie to the building of the MCU. And Iron Man became the center of that whole MCU universe, right? So much so that now that he's gone, they're not quite sure if it's going to work out anymore, right? So if you want to follow the similar and you want Superman at the center of your DC universe, then you probably have to get that first movie in there and then get a couple other ones rolling. Would you not?
Yeah, I think that's probably the better way to do things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, what comes out tomorrow. I don't know, man. It's also James Gunn, and he could pick some really crazy, bizarre, obscure character, right?
Yeah.
We can get Swamp Thing for all we know. Who the hell knows? He could pick somebody.
If they go obscure, I'm really going to question what's going on.
Yeah,
You know what I
all
mean?
of a sudden we go Justice League Dark or so. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Right?
If they go off the books, I will be very surprised with all the stuff that they've been talking about recently. For them to try and do something like that, but you never know. Yeah, you're right. It could be anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
sit
we'll
tight,
find out.
folks.
I mean, keep it here. We'll have some information. We'll news. We'll be posting it up tomorrow, and maybe we'll do, if we have time, maybe we'll do a reaction or something about it. So
Imagine if it was a hardcore solo movie. James Gunn just trolled everybody. I got the big top job at DCU. Hardcore, which is his wife's character from Peacemaker, solo movie right out the gate. We're gonna take Black Widow down and do it right. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Oh wait, I guess we do have one more news story that came out late this evening, or I guess early this evening, right, John? And that is word that E3 is making its triumphant return. If you're a video game nerd, every year you were excited for stuff coming out of E3, where the big three, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, would all drop their stuff on there, and you would get to see previews of new games coming out and their hardware and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, this is their first year after the pandemic that E3 will be live in person again, with people, cramming into the stages, John, and looking around at all the stuff and going and checking out the exhibitor retail and sitting in the hall and waiting for, the lights to come down and Sony to get up on stage and unveil their new games. But unfortunately, John, we got word that this year, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony are saying adios E3, and they will not be attending.
My question is, Rob, who's left? Sega no longer produces a system, so I don't know what they're banking on here.
I don't know. I guess it'll just because you would get like the developers, like you might get like Ubisoft and maybe EA.
So we're gonna get games that are gonna be multi-system, but no representation from that particular company. They're gonna keep it all. They're gonna keep it all for their own shows, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting, and it makes you wonder. Like, I'm a bit surprised because we saw last year at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel came back, DC was there. Like, I'm kind of surprised that these guys are doing the opposite. But whatever.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to turn into. You think they're going to maybe move over to like mobile devices, and we're going to see like a new iPhone reveal or something weird like that? Like, I don't know.
Oh God. Yeah. Hey, this presentation brought to you by Backbone.
Hey, Rob can catch in then. People are like, yo, I heard about this thing online. Let me check Kijiji. And they'll be like, Rob there holding brand new, barely used Backbone.
Yeah, I'll sell to you a fraction of the cost. Yeah, only ever used twice. Once to test it out.
Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting times. E3, I remember it even as a kid as one of my first kind of big things in geekdom, I guess, that you would know about, you'd hear about, you'd see the pictures, you would look forward to all the video game reveals and stuff like that. So we'll see, unless they're going to surprise visit. But yeah, I guess you're right. Ubisoft or all those big companies are going to be able to get a spotlight maybe, and maybe they'll drop something huge. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. All right.
That's all I got for the news, man. And
all right.
It's hard to believe it's already well past 9. That's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We've been chatting on, so we want to get to you guys. Thank you, everybody, that was the news with Rob. Rob takes a lot of time to put that together, so thank you very much, Rob.
Anything for you,
for getting all that and getting you all up to date. Someone did mention before we move on, Alien 5 campaign, Justice for Hicks and Newt. I guess that would be the original.
Newt, yeah,
I knew it. I knew it was Newt. But yeah, this is, I guess this would be the original Alien 3 script, right? Which I think has been released, and I think it has gone through a comic book adaptation or something along those lines,
I guess.
But yeah, we Bill Paxton is no longer with us, right?
No, but Hicks wasn't Bill Paxton.
Oh,
Hicks
sorry.
Was,
Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
Michael Biehn is still kicking it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think Aliens, as we know it as a property, is dead. Neil Blomkamp was working on an Alien, and it's done. And I think Ridley Scott has something in the pipeline. But I mean, that guy's like 80, 90 years old, and he's got Gladiator 2 and everyting else. So
Gladiator 2, the main character is also dead in that.
So I don't know. I think Aliens, you're gonna have to wait maybe another 10 years to get a Prey-like reboot for Aliens.
That's what I was to say. We saw Prey come back this year and really reinvigorate the whole Predator franchise. And it basically started a new time. I don't know if it starts a new timeline, but it starts a new point that you could jump on. But people did go back and watch the old stuff, which was a cool effect that we saw. And there's a new comic book out right now, Predators. It's really good as well. So yeah, maybe keep your fingers crossed. Maybe we'll see that at least in some form or another. I think they did do a comic book version of it, the Alien 3 original script, I believe. So yeah. Anyways, Rob, what do we want to chat with people tonight about?
Well, yeah. So on the Heroes World podcast, myself, Stu, and John, we did our rundown of our favorite movies of 2022 and TV series, our biggest letdowns, and the shit we hated the most. And so if you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, why the hell not? You should. You should see me flub my answer and put
Rob did not want to be the same as me. I had something on my list and he was like, "No, damn you, John. I'm going to be better than you and I'm not going to put it on my list." And then he left himself in a pinch later on.
Yeah, I threw myself pretty hard on that one. So at any rate, you should definitely check it out. But let us know, what is it that you how about this? What was your biggest disappointment of 2022? Because those are always fun. Everybody has like their favorite movies and shows, and they're all kind of the same. But biggest disappointments or biggest like pant loads.
Yeah.
No surprise for me, John. Samaritan with Stallone. Worst movie I've ever seen. It was atrocious. I hated it. I'm mad at you guys for making me watch it.
I don't know if I was the one that chose it. I think
you might have been. You were
hyping that Stu up, man. I think it was Stu.
Yeah, because he's not here to defend himself.
I'm gonna blame it on Stu. He wasn't here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys hit us up with your worst week. I kind of started the conversation a little bit on the social media with the Obi-Wan joke. Andre chimed in and agreed with me. And also Halo was on that list. Short list.
Did you ever finish that?
No. Hell no. Hell no. And I got a buddy who worked on the VFX for that show, so I wanted to kind of support him, and I'm like, sorry dude, I can't do it.
I finished the damn thing. I was just like, yeah. So okay, we got a couple good ones. Okay,
let's go.
Lewis says biggest waste of time of 2022 was Boba Fett. Yeah, you know what, that was a giant waste of time. The problem is, though,
it started in 2021, right, and then ended in 2022.
Maybe. But at least it had a couple episodes that were Mandalorian focused. So those like saved the series, like that's why I never really made the list, because I think we just think back to those 2 episodes that were actually pretty solid. Worst movie, actually, this was on my list, John. I never mentioned it. As a biggest disappointment with Halloween Ends. It was horrible. Like so bad. Like even my son, who was like a big fan of the franchise, he came out, he's like, that was just wrong. Like it was so boring. It wasn't even scary. That was the worst part. And it wasn't even like Michael Myers. Like it was horrible, horrible, horrible. So yeah.
I heard that. I heard this from several people. It was basically they cashed in on that first kind of comeback, carried a bit of the momentum, and I guess this was the third one, right? So the bit of the momentum into the second one, and then just literally phoned it in on that third one, and took people's money, which is, I think it's huge disrespect to your fans to do that kind of crap to them.
Yeah,
right? Just phone it in. All the actors and actresses involved. That's disrespectful too, for you to just cash that check and deliver like a POS movie. Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan was okay. I didn't care, but that's the point.
Yeah. We were kind of optimistic for it. I think we were kept hoping for it to get better and turn into something that was decent. And it was just trash. If I go back now and we had to re-review it, I would totally utterly trash it, 100%. So yeah, so a lot of people saying the same thing. Halo, some people just never bothered to finish it. Some people didn't even watch it. So yeah, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo is a hell of a scarier. You know what is scarier than Halloween was that Jamie Foxx movie better than that Halloween movie, Rob? Daybreak or whatever it was called.
Yeah, you know what? That wasn't that bad.
Day Shift. I kind of liked it. Yeah,
I actually kind of liked it. It wasn't that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't mind it, man. I mean, it is what it is. It was a cheesy, easy Netflix flick, right? It wasn't that bad. I didn't mind it. Now you watched was it Spiderhead with Chris Hemsworth?
Yes.
I
Did you ever
still
get to it?
haven't seen that.
It's junk.
It's junk.
It's basically, I don't know. I guess they filmed it during COVID, and it 100%. It's one of those phoned-in movies. I guess they were there. They had access to sets, props, and all that kind of stuff. And they're just like, let's just bang this out. You can see where they were going for it. At least they were trying to go for some kind of high concept horror kind of thing where you take drugs and it alters your thinking and stuff like that. But it was just utter junk. So Michelle brings in one of your, I think was on your list, Rob. Thor: Love and Thunder. People hate this movie.
Yeah. It's not good at all.
At all. I don't think I would ever watch it again, so I can't really fight for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, I used to buy every Marvel movie on Blu-ray because I wanted to have that Marvel collection. And then it started getting to the point where there's so many of them, I was just like, okay, I don't want to own this. Like,
if it came in your briefcase, your Marvel briefcase, and Iron Man armor, you would take it out and make room for another movie. You
That's
put
right.
the first Hulk in there, or some other movie that was more watchable.
I even put Ang Lee's Hulk in there before I put in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Would you rather watch Thor: Love and Thunder or Morbius again? Morbius was on the top of my list for worst movies because of that whole rerun campaign, selling the fake cameos, trying to build a universe out of it. I thought that was huge disrespect to your audience.
You've really stumped me. I don't know what I would watch more.
I feel like you would at least watch Thor.
I probably would watch
Thor,
Thor
the Guns N'
over
Roses
Morbius.
soundtrack. No,
but I would watch it, be like, You'd watch it just for the screaming goats because that was your favorite.
Oh man, the screaming goats was kind of humorous. I don't think that punchline will pack that same impact on the reviewing.
No. I'm trying to think what we saw a lot of really shitty things, and I had one on top of my, and now I can't think of what the hell it was, John. And we saw a lot of crappy movies and shows. You know what? Here's the biggest disappointment for me.
Yeah.
1887 or whatever the hell it was called, 1898 or whatever.
Yeah. Did it got canceled?
Well, yeah, because you know what? No, but like even I had said this to you, that I preferred Dark way more than 1887. I was really disappointed in how, like, what the whole mystery where they were trying to unfold. Yeah. And I remember I said to you, I said, I don't know if I need to watch like all the seasons when it comes out to really get it, but it felt like it lost what Dark had. And so it was canceled. And I was really bummed about it. But the more I've thought about it, I'm okay with it, man, because I really, it was
you didn't want to watch more. You wouldn't want to invest in 2 more seasons of it anyways, right?
Well, I would have, but in comparison to Dark's first season and even the 3 series altogether, it doesn't hold up, right? So yeah, 1899. Thanks.
Yeah. I'll add to that pile the American Gigolo, because you told me that it's not renewed for season 2.
Right.
And I loved that show. I think I was talking about it every week. And then that finale was a huge letdown. They kind of, when they throw out all these red herrings?
Yeah.
And then they kind of wrapped up the finale by placing one of the red herrings in the spot of, oh, this is the reason behind it all. But you knew 100% it's not. Right. And then now we're not going to get a second season. So they were kind of banking on getting more seasons, but
yes, and I'll never watch the show now because I know that it means nothing. Yeah. And it makes me wonder. I'm a bit of a divergent here, but that new Shazam trailer dropped last week. I don't know if you ended up watching it or not.
No,
I watched it. I was like, all right, but I have zero excitement in seeing this, and I think part of it is because I know it means nothing. And I could be wrong. Zach Levi could come back as Shazam.
Yeah.
In this new universe. I have no idea. But for whatever reason, I'm just kind of like, eh.
Yeah. No, they should have. Yeah. I don't know. They couldn't have held back the news of those announcements.
Yeah. So
Sarah Gordon picking on us for our October movies. We hear you. We're working on next year's one. The progress is very minimal. But I think we are going to choose movies that are not only on streaming. So we're going to choose whatever we just kind of feel is going to fall as a Halloween movie. So yeah, thanks for the input, guys. We're definitely going to call you up for the the run back this 2023 and throw those. Gord saying he wasn't a fan of She-Hulk. I hear him. I did enjoy the show. I haven't watched it again since though, so that's that, I guess.
I think out of the series though that came out, I preferred Ms. Marvel over She-Hulk.
I think I will fire Ms. Marvel up before I fire up She-Hulk. But She-Hulk was a fun ride at the time.
Yeah,
just kind of filler.
But the problem is that because there's all these episodes, all these shows, and all these movies, it's very hard for anything to stick out in your head.
Yeah,
that you want to like dedicate more headspace to watch it again. Yeah. Like Ozark, we talked about this offline. Yeah. We loved Ozark, but you were really disappointed with the second half of the final season and then the finale itself.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched the ends of Ozark, cover your ears or whatever. I'll give a little bit of a spoiler, but a character Lee is removed from the show, and I was telling Rob that the payoff was not worth it. There was no reason for you to do that to that character, and get rid of them, and then you wrap it up with a lackluster ending. So it's hugely disappointing to me. So much so that I'm not gonna. I watched all of that in 2022. Right, I watched season 1 all the way up to the finale. Yeah. So I was late to the party. And I'm not going to watch it again. I was loving it. I was loving those first, like, all the seasons right up to the last one, I think. So, yeah, disappointing in Ozark. A lot of people agree Ms. Marvel was great. Do you want to throw out a different question, Rob? Do you want to hear what people thought was their favorite thing?
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, before we wrap it up for the night, what did people absolutely love? Or how about what were they most surprised about? That was one thing that we didn't discuss. Something that really surprised you that you liked more than you anticipated that you're going to.
Oh, okay. Do you
I've
have
got
something?
Nothing.
You got nothing? Okay, I will say the Batman.
Okay.
You were extremely hyped for this movie.
Yeah. I got one, John.
I didn't. I wasn't on. I actually wanted to give Robert Pattinson a chance. I thought it was an interesting way of casting. I didn't have any negative energy towards that when that was announced and coming up, but I wasn't as hype as you going into this. But after seeing it, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the music and the soundtrack for it, and I look forward to watching it again. I haven't gotten it on the rewatch. I think I rewatched it once. We covered it again here in the Sidekick Show, but I look forward to firing it up again, and hopefully we'll have more in that universe. So you guys, if you guys, and of course, Top Gun Maverick stole the year for me, but that's kind of
Gordon did Bullet Train, and that was one that actually I was pretty excited to watch because I thought it'd be kind of a cool August action movie. I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed Bullet Train.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go old school, John. I took my son to see Jaws. They remastered it and put it in 3D, and I was blown away by how the 3D worked for it. Like it wasn't gratuitous Avatar 3D; it was depth. It added depth to the scenes, and that was for me probably the biggest surprise of watching this movie from 1978 remastered and just looking stellar like that. Loved it.
Yeah. So you were probably, when you bought the tickets and took your son, you were kind of like, I don't know if this is gonna pay off, and then you were like, oh man, this movie still works, right?
Yeah.
Tried, tested, and true. Space Force shouts out Fist of the North Star. I don't think Rob's gonna know anything about Fist of the North Star, but I would 100% be down with a Fist of the North Star movie. It's very kind of Mad Max with the kung fu slant. The comic, the manga is being reissued right now. It's a lot of fun. They've had several video games, Rob. And the closest thing I could think that you maybe can relate to, remember that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Cyborg? Yeah, kind of like a universe like that. I've read a bunch of articles that have said Cyborg is actually a decent watch nowadays. I haven't taken them up on that offer.
I
think it's on Tubi. If someone wants to do it, do the recon for me and let me know.
Michelle says that Andor was a big surprise. Best Star Wars there's been in years. And I would say, you know what? When we reviewed the episode, we reviewed episode 1, right, John? Or
the first, I think we ended up the first 3. Thank you very much for tuning in. Space Force.
And I I wasn't like into it at all. I waited until it finished. Stu kept harping, saying it's a great show. Fine. I decided to go back and watch it, and I really enjoyed it. So I would agree with Michelle and some others in here, like Lewis said it, I think, as well, that Andor was a big surprise for me because after the first 2 episodes, I was like, I'm out. I decided to go back and hooked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Andor is one of the best representations of we made something that happens to have this, sci-fi or comic book influence to it. We happen to make like Marvel did it a lot. We made a spy espionage movie in Winter Soldier that happened to have superheroes in it, right? So that's kind of like the way they've done the best formula.
Space Force. One last thing with the next Batman movie, who would like to sing a track to it?
Who'd you want to hear on the musical track? Would you want to?
There was no musical track in the Batman.
Well, it was they had that Nirvana song, which was like pretty pretty prominent. So would you want it? Would you want Tool? Would you want a Tool song in there? How happy would you be if that happened?
How would I be? No, you know what? You got to go. I would go like Massive Attack.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I would go some like 07, some like really into like some trip hop stuff. That's what I would do. Some slow, methodical trip hop. Even like some Portishead, like Roads by Portishead. I think you go that.
Yeah. So Gord says Slipknot. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they all wear masks, so I guess it would fit.
Yeah, you're into the realm that I'm not too familiar with, but I do appreciate this type of music. 9 Inch Nails, Lewis says. I do quite like Alice in Chains. Maybe some Alice in Chains. Can I go for a Seal? Can I get a slow
Kiss
acoustic version of Kiss from a Rose?
So you know what's funny? Yeah, look at that, dude. You know what's really funny? When we were at Disney, we went to. Did you go to Belle's Castle? You do like a dinner at Belle's Castle.
Yeah. The beast comes out and disturbs your dinner every 5 minutes. Right. What's up with that guy?
He walked by ours. He's like, he walked by. Anyways, I shouted out. I was like, I loved you in X-Men 3.
And everyone just shook their head.
They did. People were so mad. They looked at me like, Kelsey Grammer, wait for me. But we went to the other room where they had the rose. You see the rose in the glass?
Yeah. Oh, baby.
So you're right. People are eating as everybody's like walking up, taking photos to it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I hit play on my phone, and all of a sudden, you're ba-da-da-da-da.
Then on your IG stories, you're like, let me put
I'm
this Seal.
killing myself laughing. My kids are like, what is that music? And you hear song, Seal starts bringing out his tunes from Kiss from a Rose, and they had no clue what was happening. People around me were not impressed, but I didn't care. So yeah.
Yeah. Gord shows Alice in Chains doing a cover of Kiss from the Rose. That's the look. That's what we want. Make that happen. Or do the reverse, Seal doing Rooster.
Yeah, well, Alice in Chains hasn't produced anything since Lane Staley passed away in the end of the 90s, guys.
Like I said, not my genre, but I do love me some Alice in Chains.
Lewis says Creed, and for which Lewis will be banned from this chat.
That's a no-no. Even I know that's a no-no.
Yeah, no Christian rock here. Thanks, Lewis. Michelle says Britney Spears, and I think she's probably going to find herself in Arkham before she does anything.
No, an acoustic. Oops, I did it again. I would do that.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. I mean, it'll be interesting. Listen, you never know. Maybe Matt Reeves still sticks with that grunge era. Maybe we get some some early Pearl Jam, some, like something off of 10, Release or whatever. You never know.
All right. I trust in you.
Yeah.
My Batman would have an R&B slant. I don't think it would work quite well in the theaters.
He would have a what?
R&B slant.
Maybe get some Mary J. Blige. Army slant. And I was like, what?
Mary J. Blige or something in there. Maybe T-Boz. She's got that gritty voice. Shout out to R&B.
Yeah, you'd be doing like, I want Cisco to do the Batman song. Yeah, I want Batman to have that thong song.
Some Cisco. Unleash the Dragon would be funny to hear in a Batman movie. What's up, Mr. Scott? Late to the party. Rob, do we want to start wrapping up? I do have. Do you want to do a trailer reaction to Mission Impossible 2, or you want to just introduce the movie and we'll talk about it next week?
Whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, I got the trailer. It's 2 minutes. So next week we are going to be watching Mission Impossible 2. Do you want to do it, or
Mission
you got to
Monday.
go? Yeah,
John.
Mission Mondays, not
Yeah.
Missionary Mondays. Mission Monday. What you guys want to do on your own time? Hey, all the power.
Just send me the link for your iCloud account.
Jesus Christ. No, you can't do that. All right. Do you want to take a trip back in time, folks? Let us know if you want to watch this.
So let's just remind everybody. So at the first Monday of every month, we are doing Mission Mondays. We are watching Mission Impossible movie as we lead up to July's Dead Reckoning Part 1. So we've already done Mission Impossible a couple weeks ago, which for John did not hold up whatsoever.
I did not like
but it was
Tom Cruise in that movie.
1996, I think. So we are just jumping up ahead in time. I think it was 1999. I think that's about the year. John Woo took over the directing duties, and this is Mission Impossible 2, obviously starring Tom Cruise. So, so if you want, John, you go fire up that trailer.
Okay, let's do it. We can talk over it if we need to.
You might get pulled off of YouTube.
I can't remember the last time I watched this, but it's been a minute. This is the opening where Tom Cruise is wearing the Oakleys.
I'm waiting for Metallica's.
Metallica to tune into the chat and go shut it down.
No, Metallica did the theme song for this.
Okay.
Oh really? Look at this young Tom Cruise with the longish hair.
In his grunge era.
This is a pair of Oakley Romeos. I'll bust them out next week. I own a pair.
Good morning, Mr. Hunt.
Sorry I barged in on your vacation.
Is that Anthony Hopkins' voice?
It is. You're right.
Well, Mr. Hunt, I don't quite know where to begin.
Oh, look at this.
You know me?
No. Should I?
She's got no training for this kind of thing.
But to go to bed with a man like him, she's a woman. She's got all the training she needs.
Welcome to Australia.
I remember this being a big deal, this BMW.
This ain't funny.
Cartoon.
The mother of all nightmares is on the loose.
I don't think I can do it.
I mean, it'll be difficult.
You great, Scott.
Could have been Wolverine. Could have been
Well,
Wolverine.
this is not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible.
Hey, this is Ala Tyrese. This is Mission Freaking Possible. John Woo.
Difficult to be a walk in the park for you.
I think this is gonna work, Rob. Look at these bike scenes.
You gotta be kidding.
I don't know the last time we see Tom Cruise do a sidekick like that.
This message will destruct in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Come on, that looks okay. That looks. The trailer still looks decent, I think.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But that's a trailer.
Yeah. So Steve says it was with Limp Bizkit. They did the theme song of the Mission Impossible theme. They remixed it with their new metal stuff. But I believe Metallica did a song on there as well. Like whatever. But yeah, John, are you? So when was the last time you watched Mission Impossible 2?
I think the last time I watched it, and I grabbed my binder here. I think I.
Oh my god! Why did you write it down?
I have it on DVD. And I think that's the last time I watched it. So whenever DVDs were phased out, so you young kids, this is what a DVD looks like.
Wow. That's a horribly placed circle.
Yeah. Look at this. I'll put my finger through here. Okay, I'm sorry, Tom. I'm a huge fan. I'm not gonna do that anymore. But yeah, this is. I think this is the last time I watched it on DVD. So I don't think I've watched it. Maybe I'll upgrade to a high def version. Blu-ray or Apple iTunes or whatever. But yeah, you guys shut it out. What are you guys gonna watch this on? And do you think, based off that trailer that we just rewatched together, do you think this is gonna be fun? I can't see anything in the dark. I can't see the year.
I think it was 1999.
Oh no, 2000. The DVD says 2000.
Okay,
but it might have come out in 99 and the DVD was printed in 2000. So.
Yeah. I
this is not a VCD, Steve. This is legit. This is 100% legit. VCD. This would be a sticker. Shout outs to my fellow bootleggers.
Yeah, you're right. It was 2000, John. Yeah. But we are going to take a look at that next week. It is Mission Mondays, Mission Impossible 2, countdown to what the hell, that Dead Reckoning Part 1. If you don't own a copy of Mission Impossible 2, you can find it in the $5 bin, I'm sure, at Walmart, or on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it will. It's not quite the level where it will be underneath the discount bin propping it up, but I think it should be in that cheaper bin.
Yes.
But this is look at this look with the leather jacket, the glasses, and everything like that. I feel like this is not as hot right now. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Is that a legit DVD or was that from Pacific Mall?
This is legit.
Oh, okay.
This is 100% legit. I just got at one point. I felt the DVD cases were taking up too much space, so I threw everything into a binder.
Wow, you're such a loser.
I legit tossed my DVD cases and just kept the discs.
What was a hard thing to do in your mind that you thought that was such a good idea?
It takes up way less space, dude. Where are your DVDs? You tossed them all. You went over this. You're like, I owned it on DVD. It's gone now. You threw them all out. I still own it. I have it.
I didn't throw everything. I've lent out so much stuff. I never got it back, man. But I have them all on my shelves. I have them alphabetized, all on my shelves. But yes, I did lose a lot for sure.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But then I just re-upped.
Everyone's shouting out Mark
and on physical.
Markville Mall. I think he means Market Village and Pacific Mall is where you would get most of your bootlegs.
Right.
But this is 100% legit disc, folks.
All right.
I wonder if it has a disc 2 somewhere for the special.
That's features. Good. That's good. So at least for all you know, John's copy is Rob's. I have it on Blu-ray and on digital. Space Force says Tandy Newton should have come back with her real life daughter as Ethan's daughter for Mission 7 Part 2. Well, just you never know.
You never know what's going to happen.
Killed it in Last of Us first episode. Tandy Newton's daughter.
Oh yeah, stole the show.
And is a spitting image of her mom. So, but all right. But listen, it is 9:30. I think it's time for us to bow out. Thank you to everybody who showed up tonight. Don't forget, every Monday night, John and I are here live, 8:15 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Have your notification bells rung. Subscription, notifications on for the Heroes World podcast and for the Psychic Show and everything else that's coming down the pipe. Maybe we'll get to this DC, news sometime tomorrow or whatever. We'll see. But at any rate, if not, we'll talk about it next week. Thanks everybody for tuning in and joining and seeing you guys in the chat. It's been great. And we'll see you next week for Mission Impossible 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Mission Impossible 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.